Now I think this one, yes, this one was wired in the pot. So I think because it was such a slanting tree, it was a little off balance. So I'll give that wire a snip underneath, like that. And I have no idea where the wire goes, but let's see if the tree comes out of the pot now. It's coming. It's very tight in the pot. A lot of root growth. There it comes. Wow. Okay. Yeah, look at the roots on the bottom. That is a lot of root growth. Wow. Okay, so I've got to try and get this wire out. I have no idea where it goes. I guess I'll have to comb away the soil first. See what kind of root system I've got. It's very fine, that's for sure. But there'll probably be some, you know, fairly large roots in the system. Well, the tree seemed to have liked, there's my wire there. The tree seems to have liked this soil mixture. So I'm pulling my wire out now. Here's where it was tied in. I think I'm just going to snip that. There's that part of the wire out. I still have this one in there. That's out now. And I can get my drainage screen off the bottom. There's one. There. Drainage screen number 2 is out. Okay, let's keep combing out the surface roots here. Now it's good that there's all these fine roots, because if I want to reduce the root system and fit it in that small pot, you need a lot of fine roots to make that happen. It's a zombie apocalypse. So I can feel in here maybe some thicker roots. They're not all fine. So I'll have to figure out what is what, where they all are, and then start root pruning. I always like to see what roots I have before I start the root pruning, because you never know where the roots come from. They might start in the bottom and curl up, and it's always best to know what's going on with your roots before you start cutting, so there's no surprises. Yeah, so there's a big root there. Wow. So, it doesn't mean we have to keep that root. You can see all the fine roots up here. That is enough to keep the tree alive for sure. Okay, so here, look at this. Oh my goodness. That's almost like an extension of the trunk here. I wonder if it was at one time cutting or something. I think, you know, for this design, I'm not going to use this. This is all just going to be cut away. So, let me go underneath here and I'll start combing out from the bottom. I don't think I need to wash the roots. I've got pretty well all the soil out. There's no field soil or anything in here, or garden soil. It's all good bonsai soil. Yeah, I'm thinking, you know, on a cascade, the weight of the tree is bending down, and you need strong roots on the opposite side to kind of give the tree a solid look. And that's what I have with this thick root here. I'm thinking maybe it's better to keep it. It's a tough decision, you know. This root has a lot of character. And it's alive. It would definitely add to the character of the tree, but it's not really the intended style. I'm trying to see what it would look like. I'd have to tilt it up because I can't have the root running parallel to the soil level. So I'd have to tilt the tree up. And then I've kind of got this part running parallel with the soil. Yeah, so a bit of a dilemma. Like if I tilt that up, this runs level with the soil, which isn't really desirable. If I have it cascading, then the root is running parallel to the soil level. If I go up even higher, well, then it's not a very good looking tree. It's got this weird twisty style and it doesn't really justify it. If it's cascading, it kind of justifies the styling. I'm thinking the root has to go still. And my reason is that, you know, it's a very thick root. It's almost, well, it is the same diameter as a trunk line. It's a cool root, but it causes all kinds of styling problems. I'm trying to see if there's a way around it. I mean, I could have it like this, so the root is kind of parallel with the ground. It does disappear a little bit here. Just showing the surface, but is it adding anything to this tree? I don't think it's... I think it's... It does kind of counteract the cascade, but is it too distracting? You know, am I trying to show the roots or the trunk shape? Let me get my pot here. If I got rid of it, it allows me to cascade the tree a little more. If I keep it, I almost have to raise it up and it starts to look not so good. Well, I think it's causing more trouble than it's worth. I think I've got to get rid of it. It's just, yeah, it's got to go. So here I go. I'm going to start with this little bit of it out here. Very tough wood. There's that end bit of it. So now you can see this root system in here. I'll cut through here. Then I've got to cut in through here. Trying to get all these roots out of the way. This may be too ambitious of a cut, but I'll try it. Here I go. This is the real test for the ratcheting pruners. It is a good test for them. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's tough wood too. Oh, I don't know. I'm almost through. Do I dare push these pruners to the limit? Yes, I do. Oh, wow. What a cut. So I think I'm almost through, but not quite. I think I didn't cut through the whole piece. So let me try again. I should have used a saw. But the pruners did it. I mean, they worked well. So let's try and finish this cut now. Wow, it's a big, thick root. It's actually bigger than I thought it was. I don't know how I'm going to get these pruners in here. There it goes. So there's a look at the cut. So yeah, a big root. Look at that. Okay, so now I need to nibble that away. Get rid of that big, thick root. And just be left with my fine root system. And I think this will be better for the tree. I think it'll be a better style. So it was nice to see at the KW show. I had some people from the Tropical Expressions workshops there. It was nice to see them again, catch up with them, see how they're doing. So I'm slowly nibbling away at this root, getting it reduced back. So what will happen with, a big stub of a root like this is eventually it'll rot away and get replaced by finer roots. If it dies off, which it will. I mean, you can't have this big a cut and expect it to heal over or anything. It'll rot up. But it won't kill the tree. It'll rot away in a good way. Good way. Just pinch myself there. Gotta be careful. So I'm getting down to the point where I think it's kind of getting a reasonable size for the pot. That it's not taking up too much space in the pot. And this is something, as it kind of rots away with each repotting, I can further refine it, getting rid of it eventually and just having a nice root system without this big piece of wood in here. Okay, I think that's good for that part of the root system anyway. So again, I'll clean up here and then we'll come back and start pruning the remaining roots, see what's left, and give that a prune. Okay, here's what I am left with. So for starters, there's a weird bump here. Looks like a branch or something was developing there. That is going to come off. Like that. I want my roots to flow into the soil. There's also a root here that's got to come off. It's just cleaning this one up. Not in a good position. Okay, the rest aren't bad. Now, you can see for the size of the pot, my root system is huge, so I've got to reduce it quite a bit. So I'll have to get out the scissors and do a little root pruning here. So I'm going to reduce it back quite far initially, taking all these roots off, because it just won't fit in the pot with all these long roots. And I think there's plenty of feeder roots that the tree will recover and grow quite nicely. So now I'm kind of getting closer to the size I want it to be. And I don't expect the tree to grow very fast in this pot. It's a very small pot. But, it is kind of the size the tree, the pot size the tree should be in eventually. Yeah, it's a tight fit. There's not going to be much room for root growth in this pot, which may not be great. That would be the pot I would eventually want it in, but I'm thinking, give those roots a little more room to grow. Let me just see if I've got a pot a bit upsized from this, with the plan that it eventually goes in here. Well, I'm back to this blue pot. Yeah, I think that's a better size for the tree. I think in that other pot I would get like almost no growth in it. There's just no room for the roots to grow. So I think this is the pot. I can bias it over a little bit. All right, let's get the pot ready. I'll get a drainage screen in it, get some soil, and we'll get the tree planted. I have got the soil from the Bonsai supply, this pre-mixed soil, which is really good. I'm growing my asparagus fern in the soil, and it's doing so well. I'll show you what's happening with the asparagus fern. The asparagus fern had a whole bunch of new shoots coming out on it. I had to prune them before the show because it was just growing so wild. And after the show, I see there's about 3 shoots sticking out the top of it now. I can't go in there or it'll fog up, but at the top of the asparagus fern, there's these shoots growing up on it. And I think in another week, they'll be shooting out all over. It's really liking that, that soil and the repotting and being in the greenhouse here. Let me see how it fits in the pot now. Well, that's pretty good. Yeah, so I want to plant it about there. I want to lower it down. At the moment, the trunk is vertical, and I think it would look better slightly tilted. A little more of a cascade like that. So that is how I'll plant it. Now, is that going to stay? It almost is. Let me show you what it looks like from the front view. Here's a look at the tree from the front view, so you can see I want to try and avoid this vertical trunk, so I've got to kind of tilt it down a bit more into more of a cascade or semi-cascade. I think somewhere there looks better. Yeah, that's quite nice. I will have to put a rock here to kind of weigh the tree down until the roots get established, but I think that's a good planting angle. I'll place a stone here, maybe like that. And that keeps it nice in the pot. It's not going to move or anything until those roots get established. Okay, I think that's a good repotting. It'll be in the greenhouse. It'll be nice and warm, at least for the next few days. I'll keep it well misted, and hopefully it'll recover and bounce back. I did a lot of work on this tree today, a lot of root work for sure. So it'll be interesting to see how strong these privets are, see if it bounces back with vigor. All right, here I go with the watering. Let's fly in now and have a look at the tree. It's time now for today's update. Today's update is my hibiscus bonsai. It is blooming and it's got a really cool mushroom down here. That's so cool. I'll show you the flower. It's around the back here. Here's a look at the flower. It just came out today. Absolutely beautiful. There is a lot of flower buds on this bonsai. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, at least 33 on the bonsai. So that is just fantastic. It's going to be blooming non-stop for the next month, I think. This bonsai has really developed nicely. It's one of my favorites. It's not, you know, your typical bonsai, but I just love the the branch structure in that and the flowers. It's just, yeah, just a cool plant to have. My last update for today is the plant room. I'll take you back in time and show you the work I did on the plant room to get it to the stage that it's at now. I am out in the plant room here and I have an update. I brought the two kitties out here. So here's the one, the calico cat. Hello. They're a little bit scared out here. Hello. Hi, how are you? Are you okay? And here's the, I don't know how you describe it. White tummy with spotted and striped back. So we have nicknames for him. This one's Stripey Stripe, and this one's Patty. Stripey Stripe. Well, you're very busy looking. Stripey Stripe. Very busy looking around. Hey, kitty. 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 Hi. Hello. Oh, you're a cute one. So they're great cats. Hey. Hi. It's okay. Oh, you're a cutie. You're a cutie. It's a bit messy out here at the moment, but I'm working on it. I'm going to do this wall next and get all the plastic around this part. You can see I got the plastic up here now. I think you can see that, yeah, to seal all this in. So everything's going to be sealed. The only open spot will be the windows, and then I'm going to put that clear plastic on those. So it'll be all waterproofed in here. Be pretty good. What are you climbing up there for? Hey, kitties? What you doing? Cutie. Hey, Patty. Yeah, they're nice color cats. This one has very, very soft fur. She's like a Persian or something. Yeah. Okay, that's it, guys. I got to get back to work. Here is an update to the plant room. I have the vapor barrier up. It's up 100% on every surface. It's all taped up and sealed. So hopefully there's no way moisture can get from the room here into the structure of the building. My next step, I've got to put the clear plastic film across the windows. That helps keep the heat in the room during the winter so you don't get as much loss through the window surface. And then after that, I think I'm ready to put in my front benches. So I'll be making the columns out of these cement blocks, the supports. I'll put that flat table across, and then I'll put the flood tables on top of that. So that'll be exciting to get that in today. I have got all the vapor barrier up in the plant room and the plastic across the windows. So it's all sealed up, air and vapor tight. So there's the plastic on the windows. It's all taped all the way around the room. So it's all sealed. So that's really, really nice to get that job done. So next, you can see all the concrete blocks I have in here. That is going to support my table across the front wall here. So I'll put that table on there, and then the flood tables will go on top of that. So I'm going to begin doing that now, piling up the blocks to make my supports for the table, bring the table in, and then put the flood tables on top. I am all ready to put the table in place. You can see I've got all my cement blocks there to support the table. Now, this may look a little excessive, these cement blocks. They're plenty strong enough to hold the table up. The reason I'm using cement blocks is they'll never rot away. If there is moisture that drips down there, the cement kind of absorbs it so it won't kind of rot the floor out or anything. And they're modular. If I decide to change the room around in the future, it's easy to do. I can just, build shorter shelves if I want out of these, or yeah, so it's very versatile. Julian and I lifted the table in place. Seems to fit pretty good. There it is. A bit of the table's a bit rotted there, but structurally, it's nice and strong. So there it is in front of the window, a good height. So my flood tables will go on top of here now. Before I put the flood tables in place, I just want to put some 2x4s under this edge of the table to tilt it up so the water runs down towards the front of the table. And then I can drain it into a bucket. I've got lots of room underneath the tables here to store pots, soil, all that kind of stuff for the winter. Here is a look at the flood tables in place. So I've tilted the table so the water will run towards the front. I can hook up some hoses and collect my water, my excess water, into buckets. So I've got the 3 flood tables across the front, and then a boot tray fits into the last space here. So it works out pretty well. So I can, water these trees in the front bench here really well. Just pour the water on them. The excess will run down, and I'll collect it in a bucket, and that'll save me water. So at least, the plant room is getting there. It's to the point where if I had to put my trees in now, I can do that. I've got tables. I'm going to bring in my rolling benches next. I've got 2 of those, so I can put those in here. They're on wheels, so I can roll them around. And I've got more room this year without that kind of little shelf unit here. So that'll be nice. I hope I have more room for plants. So my next job is to get those rolling tables into the plant room here. I have got the 2 rolling tables inside the plant room here. You can see how much sun shines in the plant room. Once the leaves go off those trees there, it's a pretty bright room in the winter. So there's my flood tables over here. Over here I've got the 2 rolling tables. They're on wheels, so I can position them anywhere I want. So I'm still going to need more space. Definitely. I've got to fit my barrel in here, my barrel of water. I've got my heater and my fan down here. So I'll have to find a place for those too. Yeah, so lots more to figure out in the room, but a lot of the hard work's done now. Next year I'm going to leave it all with just the plastic up here. So I'm going to check for condensation, see if I'm getting any condensation. Once that's all, the room's all working, no condensation problems, I'm going to put up all the drywall panels or whatever I use to make it all bright and reflective in here. So that'll be another step, and I'll do that not this winter, but probably next summer or spring or fall or something. That'll be for the future. I want to make sure everything's working in the room first. And if I have to put up shelves here, as I said, I want to make sure I know where all the beams are before I put all the holes in to mount the shelves. So that'll be good too. So there's lots of room up here. It doesn't get the most light above, so I'd be relying on the lights. But it definitely, is a very bright room in the wintertime.
That is all the work I'll be doing on my semi-cascade Chinese Privet. I hope it survives. Pretty drastic work today with those roots, but I think it's got that root system on the right track. If that recovers and grows, fills this pot with roots, fine roots, and then, I can keep managing the tree, growing it, developing it, and eventually maybe go in one of that smaller pot. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how well it does in this smaller pot with all that root work done. So that's all for today. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone.